If you are an estate agency or letting agency boss, it's quite a lonely old game. You've got the responsibility of your team on your shoulders. You're responsible for paying their mortgage and rent. You're also responsible for paying your own mortgage and rent. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. But some people, those of us, those fools of ourselves who decided to set up our own firms, you need guidance and support from people who understand you. And there's no one better who can understand you better than a fellow estate agent. Now, call me old-fashioned, but in the good old days of estate agency, when I were a lad, all the estate agents in the town used to meet for a pint and a glass of Chardonnay on a Friday. It doesn't happen anymore. But with the power of the internet, social media, and great people like the Baldock brothers, we have a coming together of the tribes where estate agency bosses can come together and share their woes, their ups and their downs, their trials and their tribulations. Today, I'm joined by Angi Cooney, who is estate agent extraordinaire and #1 estate agent in the UK, according to the Esters, from sunny Rugeley in Warwickshire. We've got Ben Madden, who's big in the game when it comes to London estate agency. And we've got Wendy Peterman, who has a couple of branches in London and North London and South London. And then we are joined by one of the Baldock twins, as we like to call him, Phil and Grant with hair, from sunny Chelmsford. And what the Baldock brothers have done is that they've brought together each month estate agents that come together in London and share their stories, share their passion, their ups and their downs to make themselves better and happier. Matt, thanks for joining us today. I want to kick off with you. What was the decision of setting up the Estate Agent Directors Club in London?
It was a couple of bits. So first of all, also Angi called us Ant and Deck once, and I think maybe Phil and Grant is a bit better. But basically, during lockdown and COVID was a terrible time for a lot of people, but it did something I think a bit wonderful for a estate agency, and it actually made us talk to each other. So all these Facebook groups turned up with people who didn't have a lot to do for the start of it, and we actually started talking to each other, and there was kind of support going on there. You know, you've got a group, John Paul's group, the Home Search group. There was loads of them. So I watched this community evolve on a page, and then last year we were fortunate enough to go to quite a few of the awards dues, and I saw Angi win the best agent at the Esters. And what I found was my favourite bit was the breaks when you got to talk to each other. So the awards were great. Some of the speeches went on a little bit long, but the bit where the agents were together just chatting. And so what I wanted to see is if we could do that. I want to see if I could bring Facebook off the page and take the best bits, in my view, from the awards dues and put it together and see what would happen.
So you could have set up another Facebook group, because let's be honest, the world doesn't necessarily, estate agents don't need another bloody Facebook group. What made you actually bring everyone together face to face?
I just think we need that human touch still. I think I'm a big believer in face to face and human interaction, and we needed it so much more after those couple of years we went through. A touch on a shoulder, a handshake. Humans are built not in a weird way, but we're built to touch. And I just kind of thought we interact better. I'm sick of, no disrespect, this is very nice of you to do this, but Zooms aren't my thing. I prefer being in a room with somebody and actually having a chat. So that's what we thought. We thought, let's just get together. I didn't know if it would work or not, but we thought we'll give it a go and see what happens.
Well, you could have invited me to the Estate Agents Directors Club in London, and I would have filmed you all doing this. But there is one big proviso about the Estate Agents Directors Club, is that you can't have to be an estate agent and you cannot be a supplier to go. So therefore, that's your loss, but actually your gain. Let's go to Angi. Angi, as estate agents, we often keep our problems to ourselves. And sometimes all we need is for someone to listen, to understand, encourage, and offer advice, because we're not alone. What have you gained by being part of? Have you gained those things by being part of this club?
Most definitely. I'm based in Staffordshire, by the way, not Warwickshire. But,
sorry, babes.
Right. But for me, obviously, I went to the Esters, whatever. And that isn't about, oh, no, I'm just the best estate agent. It's absolute rubbish. No, I'm not. But what I am is part of a very unique club of people that actually strive to be the very best that they can be. I get now to meet with like fantastic people and actually add them on my little WhatsApp and they can now like I watched something that Wendy did, and I've only ever watched her from afar, the same as Ben and Matt had never heard of, but obviously I have now. And it for me personally, it helps. And they say about the problem being shared is a problem halved, and it really is, because it is a lonely old world out there. But it's all the ideas as well. It's about knowing that there are different ideas out there, different parts of the country. We're all going through different things, but we've got such a wealth of knowledge. It is by far the best thing I ever joined, honestly.
Now, Wendy, you know, sharing your problems is like having an extra pair of hands to a task. It's like but you have to trust people to fix, you know, give their advice. Are you brave enough to share your burden with the collective, with such awesome estate agents like Matt, like Angi, and obviously other agents that are not in that category, like Ben Madden? Hey, sorry, Ben.
Yes, is the answer.
Okay, so what do you get out of being part of, basically, you know, once a month, third Thursday of every month, you go into London, which, let's be honest, for most of us is a bit of a treat. Might not be for you, Ben, because you're in London itself, but for the rest of us, wonderful to come within the M25. I know, obviously, Wendy, you're in with the M25 as well. But coming into the centre, what other benefits have you gained by being part of this club?
Well, a lot like Angi said, I got to meet Angi, which was one of the best things that have happened. But also the other guys here, I'd followed on Instagram and LinkedIn and commented and had plenty of conversations with them. And it was an absolute delight to get to meet them, you know, in real life. But there's plenty of other people there that I've had the most inspiring conversations with, and conversations and ideas. No one's afraid to share an idea. There's no competition whatsoever. It is literally a group of people who happen to do the same jobs, talking about things that happen in their daily lives and how they've made things better. And it is, I totally agree with what Angi said. It's the best. And I didn't want to go. I said yes. I really had to push myself to go to that first meeting. I was still in some weird COVID thing where I didn't want to do any networking. I didn't want to meet people. And it was quite, I was just so glad I did it. It was just the best. And I look forward to every time we're meeting. It's like, I'm going to meet a bunch of my mates. It's great.
Ben, if I can go, thank you, Wendy. Ben, if you don't mind me saying, not only are you an exceptional estate agent, but you actually, not on the side as a, but you guide and support an awful lot of fine and country estate agents. What have you, big in the game, got to learn when people look up to you? What are you getting out of this meal? Because let's be honest, it's a bit of a slosh getting over to the side of London for you.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, it's not necessarily about learning, and it's not also, you know, like, I think we're careful about the picture we paint here, that we don't get together and have a good wine and whinge and, you know, I hate business because of this and I've got that problem because of this. On the first meeting, so I was apprehensive, like Wendy, not necessarily, you know, a big fan of networking with other agents. In the past, it hasn't always been the most enjoyable experience for me. Finding Country sort of opened my eyes to that, part of a really good network. And I don't want my business to become too insular, which, you know, it can do. You see the same 6, 7, 8 people every day. So yeah, give it a go. What's going to happen? I end up sitting next to Angi, meeting one. We spent 20% of the time talking about estate agency, 80% of the time talking about her 2 daughters, and she already knows everything about my 3 daughters. And you know what? Because I sit in an office talking about estate agency all day long. I don't need to go to a meeting and talk about it. If we talk about it, if we got things in common, yeah, great, that's fine. If I've got a problem, I throw it into the WhatsApp group, or I need some advice on anything property related. I've got access to 50 people who will help me out with that.
So hold on a second. It's not just a few beers and in a meal in central London.
Well, hold on, you didn't let me finish. Hold on. Meeting one wasn't just a few beers. meeting one was a lot of beers.
Yeah.
And it's not, it's not on the lash every session. It was only boozy the first one because we all got very excited. As you said, Phil and Grant were in attendance, and that's like, a couple of celebrities at the bar to have a beer with. And it was good fun. I got, I can't understate it enough. I haven't woke up that hungover in a long, long time, and I had a really important meeting at 9 a.m. and I woke up for it at 8:45. So, and I don't drink that much anymore. I know I see Wendy raising her eyebrows at me, but it was good fun, and that's what I'm looking for. Like-minded people who are good human beings who have got plenty of experience with estate agency if I need to draw on that, but actually I just want to have a bit of fun. There's a lot of content out there around education, and you can come and you can learn, you can do this. I just want to have a laugh. I just want to lighten up. The world has got we're so tight on, everything is a high stress environment. I just want to have a beer with a couple of people whose company I enjoy. And this works really well for me.
Okay, Matt. So we've got a bunch of estate agents who are sharing their issues either online or face-to-face. They're meeting people that they see online, and they're building relationships up with them, which I'm sure there's lots of offline conversations that are going on that you don't even know about. We're having a few beers we're with people who understand what we're going through, because I don't care what you say, estate agency is a bit like a publican's job. It's a way of life. It isn't a 9-to-5 job. It just takes over your life. Is there anything else that being part of this club offers?
Well, we also have a WhatsApp group, and the reason I hesitated, therefore, we had to call it something, right? So we called it a club. I'm not a big fan of the word club, so I think again it gives off maybe the wrong connotation. It's a community. Quite simply, we're trying to build a community, and it is all down to the wonderful people that come to it. So me and Neil, we had the idea and we put it out there, but we do very little apart. We have to organise it, but the people, and I'm grateful for everybody that comes. But I mean, Angi every month makes a hell of a journey down, so I'm very grateful to her. Last month, we had a couple from Sunderland came. I've had someone from Yorkshire come. But then if you do attend, we then give you the option to join a WhatsApp group. And as kind of Ben alluded to there, that's where the real work talk is, if you like. So the WhatsApp group, we try and keep it, if we had a guy there who's never done video before. So he said, look, this is my first video. What do you think? Ben obviously was very good at that. Angie was really kind enough to share the microphone equipment that she was using. So there is that support group there 24 hours a day, as well as the monthly dinners.
Yeah, and I'm sure because it's not like a Facebook group, which, let's be honest, the problem with Facebook groups is it's a lot more. It's a bit public, and some people don't want to put their dirty thing out.
It's the honest answer is, because if I go on Facebook group and say, what CRM shall I use? Owners of CRMs tell all their minions Facebook groups and do it. Whereas in this, it's people's honest opinions.
And
And we only allow people in the group who have come to the dinner. So I'm willing to share a problem with Wendy, for instance, or I'm willing to ask advice off Ben because I've met them and I know them. So if you come to the meeting, you're in the group, so there's that element of trust there.
Right then. So what does this all cost, and what commitment? I'm assuming you've got to be a boss.
Yeah, so we ask for estate letting agency owners, including all models, self-employed, more than welcome. Letting agents, we've had some letting agent onlys there. We've got some station onlys, and we've got some kind of cross hybrids, if you like, for want of a better word. There's no commitment. It's £55 for a ticket. That gets you 3 courses in a 3-course meal in the Westminster area of London. It's not a money spinner, as you can imagine. At £55, something on there. Me and my brother, we were fairly brave. I think we committed to the venue for a year. We've paid up front for minimum numbers. If people come, fantastic. If they don't, I've got a lot of dinner to eat. But so far it's working.
Good stuff. And Jenny, I'm going to go around the room now with final thoughts. Ange, what are your final thoughts?
Okay, it's the final thought, but I'm just going to throw it in. The reason why it works not having any suppliers there is because I think we're all sick to death of people trying to sell us something. The difference is when we're talking to other people in the same position, they will give their opinion on different things, like, for example, you. So we will talk about things that you bring to the table, which then will have a knock-on effect for any suppliers who are worth their salt and that have peddled their wares to people who are, frankly, want their work or not. So for me personally, it's great to not be sold to. It's great to be able to sit there, and I do make that journey, but I do it on purpose because I think I want to know that there's something outside of my world. So final thoughts, if you're not in it, you should be, and just get along. It's great.
Wendy, what's your final thoughts?
We need more women there. Definitely. Yeah. There's nothing to be scared of. Everybody's lovely. I think it was a fantastic and brave thing to start, and I will be a supporter of it as long as it goes on. I've met some really nice people, and I wouldn't be afraid to go to any of them if I had a problem, but they're all really good fun and they're lovely to talk to.
Ben, final thought words.
Final thought words. Well, we've got to get you some new dialogue because this big in the game thing is not going to stick. Look, I'm conscious that what I just said about it being boozy, people might think, oh, it's a load of lads getting drunk. And so I don't want to, that session 1, it was a group of lads getting drunk, but actually session 2, I sat next to Wendy. Oh, it's funny, actually, the group that we sat next to Angi, session 1, session 2, sat next to Wendy. And we just had a nice chat. And, you know, you get a few things off your chest and you get to hear a bit about what other people are doing. And when you use the word inspiration, that's a great choice of word because most people think of the word as inspiration as a little bit naff, but actually you hear what others are doing. It sounds brilliant. You think, well, I need to rip that off. That's something I need to try. And it's £55. You get fed and watered. I mean, you're going to go home and have dinner. You may as well stick a bit of money in your pocket and see what it's like. It's a lovely venue. It's May, so the weather's going to be nice. You know, it's a no-brainer if you're open to getting on with colleagues in the estate agency world. What I would say though is we all know there's a big chunk of people that don't, and so it's not for those guys. It's not a fiery, feisty estate agency environment. It's nice. And so I think we want to maintain that status quo. So, you know, if you're one of my colleagues in London, because this city seems to attract a certain sort of profile, it might not be that fun for you guys, but for us guys, we love it.
Final words from Matt.
Just a kind of a big thank you, to yourselves on this, but also anybody that's ever come and attended. I genuinely believe this industry improves by collaboration, and that's what we're trying to build. My feeling is people are watching from the outskirts a bit skeptical, thinking, what are they going to sell us? So the pledge is there will be no suppliers, no sellers. Believe me, the sponsorship of offers I've had for it, I could earn a pretty penny out of it, but we're trying, you know, everybody in that room are honest estate agents, and that's kind of what we stick with. So yeah, if you're open to collaboration, you want to let your hair down a little bit, but also just speak to like-minded people, please come along.
Final words from me. I've known Matt and the Baldock brothers for 3 or 4 years, Matt and Neil, and they are truly, genuinely great blokes, and they want to make a difference. And if you want to be part of a tribe of estate agents who understand you, the ups and the downs, the trials and the tribulations, then get your backside down to London every third Thursday of every month. I'm going to post the link. I'm not being paid to do this, but I believe in what the Baldock brothers are doing, and I believe in and you'll be amazed how many of my clients actually attend that event. I'm doing this because I believe in it, even though I've never been and never will go, because if I opened up my own estate agency, the wife would divorce me. But there you go. I'll leave it at that. Thank you for your time, for watching. Thank you for everyone for attending, and thank you. Big love to Matt and Neil with regard to what they're doing for the industry. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.